Okay, welcome to class number 3. Stop that. This is the day where we look at my games from yesterday. You didn't play yesterday, but I did. And we only had one person complain. Said, you shouldn't be allowed to play chess. Teach me. Okay, I didn't even play him either. All right, and we're looking at one game per class plus a difficult puzzle, except for the first class where it was not difficult. But the last class was difficult, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, look at them crying over there. They were outside crying. Okay, so this is my third round game with Ryan at Ottaviano, and very suspicious game. So, and then we're gonna look at another game too. I don't know yet. We'll see how this goes. Okay, I was white, and I played D4, and D5, and C4. I play the Queen's Gambit normally when I'm white, if allowed. And I had this twice in my tournament yesterday, by transposition. And in this position, there's a lot of moves black can play. Usually black plays bishop e7. Some people play bishop b4. Knight d7 is actually a trap that I'm sure you've all fallen into. Okay, then I'll pull you out, so that's okay. So knight b d7, it looks like it hangs this pawn because this knight's pinned and you just block your defense, right? So if I trade and then take the pawn, white's up a pawn.
No.
Yeah, he is. No, look again. No.
Oh.
Yeah, so white's up a pawn, but unfortunately white's losing. Boo! You're the young guys, you're supposed to see tactics.
Huh?
Ugh.
I'm so confused. Older people don't do tactics?
Nope. They can barely show up to the tournament. They're like, where's the tournament? I'm confused. All right,
Wait, no. Knight takes knight and then bishop b4 is checkmate.
Is checkmate? Ish? Okay. Yeah, knight takes d5 is correct, and then bishop b4 is not checkmate, but it's close. And you could take or not take, but we'll take for the edification of the audience.
But couldn't you just pick
And now, no, you can't cheat. And then you can't take your own queen. I like the guy trying to make 2 moves in a row. That was good. Yeah, okay. So you thought that the queen just was magic. It was off the board, and you could just play king d1. Is that what you thought? Yeah. Yeah, your king's, you can't do that. Okay, and then white blacks up a piece because I said so.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a well-known trap. But anyway, my opponent played c6, which is unusual.
Who's your opponent?
If you're gonna play, what's that?
Who's your opponent?
You can see his name, and I already said his name. Ryan Ottaviano.
I don't know who he is.
You're at every tournament with him.
Huh?
He's the guy who goes outside and smokes the fake cigarettes.
No, I
What
don't
are those
know.
called? Vaping.
Vaping, I believe.
Yeah. He's at every tournament. Oh, here's how you know who he is. He leaves all his stuff at the table. He has like books and thermoses, and it's all it takes up the whole table. That's him. Then when his game's done, he leaves it there. So every table has all his stuff on it. Okay, then we sell it to the highest bidder. Okay, so exactly. All right, so I played the move e3, and now I'm defending my pawn. I'm the best. Okay, knight bd7, here. Now, what move can black play? And I already gave this in a previous lecture, but you guys weren't here, and you guys don't remember, so perfect. Where black can transpose into the Cambridge Springs variation.
Huh?
Yeah, the guys who are here are like, what? Yeah. Anybody? Come on, this is one of our most advanced classes.
Queen A5?
Queen A5. And what state is Cambridge Springs in, which we argued about 2 weeks ago? Anybody?
Queen b3?
That's your answer of what state Cambridge Springs is in? Queen B3? I have a funny story about a guy having a seizure at a tournament. It's very similar to what you just said, so we should check him afterwards. There's a guy in Michigan who plays like once a year, and when he does, he has a seizure, and the ambulance comes. And he doesn't play for a long time because of that, then does it again. Okay. I think I've been to 3 tournaments where he had a seizure during his game. But anyway, he only has a seizure during his game. If he's not playing chess, he's fine. Yeah. And they don't look good. And if you're a kid, you'd be scared. I was an adult and I was scared. But anyway, he had a seizure during tournament, and the ambulance came, and they questioned him. And the first question they said was, like, they asked you, like, what's your name, and where are you? And they asked him what time it was. And he said D5. It's time to play D5. Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, that's what he said. So when I asked you, like, what city is this in, you said Queen B3. so we'll check you later. Okay, so Cambridge Springs is in Pennsylvania, obviously. They had a tournament there in the early 1900s, and this was very popular. The reason is that this knight is pinned, and this knight is not pinned, and now it's his other way around English, right? Now we switched what was pinned. Okay, this was very common 130 years ago, or 110 years ago, and now it's played somewhat. My opponent played bishop e7, which is sort of passive. Now, I don't like the move that I made, but mainly when I was playing in the tournament, I was directing it. So I would like make a move, hit the clock, and run around directing, then I come back and make a move. I wasn't paying too much attention. Okay, so I played bishop d3, and probably rook c1 is better, because I get my rook out on this potential open file, and if the guy takes my c4 pawn, I can take without moving my bishop twice. But bishop d3 is fine. Okay, he took and played b5, which is typical in these variations. You could also play knight d5, and then black trades all the pieces. Okay, everything's traded, and white's a little bit better. Okay, b5 is more of a move that's played when the bishop is on c1, so we're going to get back to that. So for example, if you play the Slav and or the semi-Slav, okay, and let's say, for example, white plays e3, which is a move, and you get this position. This is very common semi-Slav position. Now you take and play b5. And if I click reference, which tells me every game I ever played in this position, it'll be a lot of games. It'll be more than 7,000.
Wow.
Yeah, unless I'm wrong. I was going to say 10,000, but I'm going to hedge my bets. I'll say 7,000. Okay, see, 800. Now it'll get more, it's thinking. Yeah, there we go. So you were laughing at it when I said 700. I could have said 10,000, darn. Okay, and a6 was played 5,000 times, and you can see the players. You heard of some of them, like Kasparov, So, Anand, Aronian, Anand again, Caruana, Anand again. Okay, Mamedyarov a million times.
So?
Anyway, you never heard of Wesley So?
So?
He's the best player in the U.S. You never heard of him.
No.
He's number 2 in the world. You never heard of him.
No.
You never heard of? What's wrong with you? Okay, back to the first class.
We'll check him later.
Get him a plane ticket to St. Louis and put him in a 1 o'clock class. Okay, it's the worst punishment ever. Okay, so this is very, very, very common position, except in my game, my bishop was on g5. You don't get to do that because your bishop's all trapped in here. So the variation my opponent played, I would say, is not as good. Okay, we got this position instead of my bishop being here. Okay. Now, here, my next 2 moves probably weren't very good. And if I was playing a grandmaster, I would have thought a little bit, but you know, not really necessary in this turn, what you think. So, in this position, it's paramount that black plays c5 at some point. If black never plays c5, then, you know, that's not a good bishop. Okay. So, in this position, to play c5, you have 2 issues. One is c5 defended enough? The answer is yes. And the answer is b5 defended enough? The answer is no. So if you play c5 without taking care of your b pawn, I'll take your b pawn. Yes. But if you play b4 and then c5, or a6 and then c5, then you play c5. So I should take measures against c5. And there's 2 measures I can take.
B4.
I can play, well, b4 hangs a pawn, although I could try to play a3 and b4. I can play rook c1, which I probably should have done before bishop d3. And I can take this knight. And either you mess your pawns up, which is fine, or you recapture with a piece that's defending c5, making it harder to play c5. Now, that's something I would do if I was teaching chess, which I'm doing now. But I was playing chess, and I wasn't the most interested in the game. I was more interested in pushing the chairs in, making sure there was water, making sure they made coffee, making sure people showed up for their games, the clocks are set right, that they didn't destroy the bathrooms, which they did twice. Okay. Anyway, so I wasn't at my board very often. So I just castled because that was quick. Castle, hit the clock, run away. Okay, and he played a6. Why did he play a6? I already told you why.
Yeah. Protect the B pawn.
Protect the b pawn. All right, now I really should like take 10 minutes on my clock and figure out what to do. But I took like 1 second because I just didn't care. And probably if I thought a long time, I would play the recommended move by the computer, which is to take this. And he would probably take with a piece, And then he's not defending c5 as much. So if he goes here, for example, I could play knight e4, and then I could play rook c1 and queen c2. And if you never play c5, that's not a good bishop. And in fact, I have a game with Gregory Kaidanov, and normally I lose to him, but I beat him once. I've played a guy a million times, I beat him once. And the game I beat him, he couldn't play c5 in a similar position, so he played c5. And I took it, and he was down a pawn, and I won a pawn up endgame like 30 moves later. And he's like, well, if I don't play c5, my bishop's on b7, I can't do that. And I've done this before. I've played bishop takes knight on f6, hoping to stop c5, because I get some of these. But I was just moving quickly, so I played e4, and he played c5. And this is very funny, because white's position is sort of like if you weren't playing a chess game, and I just said, here, go put a position for white that you like. That would be a good position. You got both pawns in the center, all 4 pieces out, and you castled. That's sort of like what I would want. Black, conversely, hasn't castled yet, and it's my move. Okay, computer says black's better here. Yeah, because this bishop, I mean, come on, it's blocking my queen, it's defending a pawn. Now that's a bishop. Yeah, well, that's a drunken bishop. Okay, that's a bishop. So the computer actually likes black here because this is very hyper modern. That's what you kids were thinking.
Huh?
Yeah, good answer. You're the new Arjun and Ken West and everybody rolled into one. Ocean, that's his name. So when you're writing comments, Ocean. Okay, he's an ocean of knowledge. Okay, he found the fountain of youth. It's a drop in the bucket what he's telling us. Now, so in this position, I thought, I just gave a lecture about this. I didn't win the game. I said, I castled and he didn't. So let's open it up. So I moved like in 1 second here, even though it's sort of complicated. Okay, so I mean e5 makes sense, but I played d5. I thought I might lose a pawn, but I want to open up his king. And I did lose a pawn, and I opened up his king. And the computer said I was better. Okay, so everything I thought was correct. However, the best move for black, and I talked about this in my 2 previous classes, is that whenever somebody makes a move, the lower rated player and you like stares at that and you're like, oh, okay, I'm like quiet. So, of course, lower rated players are like, I gotta take that, but how do I take it? Okay, and the engine says, my king's on e8, that's not good. So the computer castles and says black is better.
Ha.
It prefers black.
Ha.
And I mean it prefers black a little. Okay, it's sort of equal. Okay, my opponent instead played a crazy tactic because, you know, it's hard not to play crazy tactic. It looks good. Okay, I've played this tactic many times, but not in this exact position, but the same tactic. Okay, he played knight takes d5. Okay, and he's unleashing, you know, my bishop on g5. Well, I didn't really mind losing a pawn because his king is still on e8. So that computer actually says that's a bad move. The tactical idea, which most of you are missing, is after this, he takes with the knight. Now he's just up a pawn.
Ha.
Then I resign. Okay, I mean, I'd still win, but I'd be losing. So I took the knight, and he took my bishop, and now he's up a pawn. But his king is on e8. Okay, so I open that king up. And in this position, the computer says white has many ways of getting an advantage, but it's very small. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. And the way I played is okay. It also, I thought about a lot of things here. Bishop e4, for example, that threatens that. Then if he takes, then I got a lot of stuff going on here. This, and this, and this. And it prefers white. Okay. And rook e1 is a move with this idea. And I played knight takes g5. I knew he would take back, threatening me. Okay, so I played bishop e4. And the computer says white's better here too. Okay, now he's a pawn up, but look at his king. And also the pawn's pretty weak. Okay, my position looks pretty good. And if he takes, which I think the computer does, then, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm gonna stop him from castling. So he did castle.
Not now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
He castled inside.
of course. Yeah.
Oh.
Gotta defend your bishop.
Ouch.
Right. Computer says that's very bad. And I thought during the game, I'm down a pawn, I have good compensation. Computer thinks like I'm almost winning here. It's like, oh, this is terrible for black. So It doesn't necessarily like bishop takes b7, but it says it's okay. Of course, following the Finegold rule, when your opponent's pawn is on b5, you play a4. So the computer plays a4 a lot, like every move. Okay, I took. And you could play a4 here, which I think it does, but I played knight e4, which is also good. And I want to take his queen, and I want to check and fork his rooks. So I like all that. He played queen f4, which is the best move. I can't fork his rooks now.
Yeah, but you can still get check.
I could, okay, but then he'd move his king. Okay, so I play queen c2. I could also play queen e2, but queen c2 I threaten his pawn here. Okay, now he made the losing move. Here it prefers white, which I was surprised. During the game, I thought for humans I would take white here, but a computer would probably take black, because black's up a pawn. But black has a lot of problems. White doesn't have any problems. But the computer actually likes white. So obviously if I take this pawn and we trade the knights, we have the same position, but he has this isolated pawn, and his king is obviously more exposed than my king. My king's great. So here he made, I think, the losing move. He played c4, saving his pawn. I forgot what the computer does. I think it moves its king. And I think the idea is if I take, then he could pin my knight. Although if his king is here and I take, he's in check. So I think it plays like king a8 here, or king a7. Anyway, he played c4. Okay, now I had all I can stands, I can't stands no more. Right? That's the Popeye attack. Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm not talking French Connection here. All right. So how do I open up the black king?
You played b3.
Close.
a4.
Yeah, a4. Yeah. Gotta play a4. And again, I lecture on this many times. I like to activate my pieces without moving them. It's like exercising without moving. My favorite. Okay. So my rook on a1 is going to be active and it just stayed there. So I like that. Okay, now when the game ended, he asked me what he did wrong, and then I said, your next move is really bad. And it turns out his next move is bad, but the computer already thinks he's losing. And I thought, like, it's unclear, because he's up a pawn. But the computer's like, no,
I heard what you said.
king's no good. Yeah, what?
I heard what you said about
Yeah. Yeah, I said rook c8's no good. Right, Archer?
Yeah.
Yeah, no talking. Okay. So he played rook c8. Now, the thing is, if he ever moves his knight, I'll play knight c5 check. Well, now he can move his knight, because he's defended that. Unfortunately, he's walking into that, and he undefended his knight, so that move's not good. Okay, and I took and played rook d1, which is all correct. Now I'm threatening this. My rook is active. I got knight d6 check forking, and the computer says this is over. Okay, and here later he was fine. Okay, again, I'm like running around and I'm directing, I don't care. During the game I thought, I like my position now. And before I didn't, even when the computer did. So now the computer says I'm winning. So now he should sacrifice the exchange by moving his knight, and let me play knight d6 check. But he didn't want to lose the exchange or his knight, so what did he do?
He moved his king.
Where? Let's not, always say chess moves. Don't be cryptic. You!
Rook c7.
Rook c7. Right. King c7, I would play rook a7 check, and then you have to go back to the 1 o'clock class in St. Louis. Okay, rook c7. Now I'm totally winning and everything wins. Although during the game nobody told me that. Okay, and I played one of the winning moves. I played knight d6 check.
Check.
Man, now the truth hurts.
Ouch.
I don't know. Now it's given like +6 for me, and I'm down a pawn. It's pretty good.
You're down a pawn?
I've been down a pawn the whole game. He took a pawn, we played knight takes d5. That happened like move like 7. Yeah, let's go back. It wasn't move 7, but I was teasing you. So, in this position, when I played d5, he should castle, which we discussed. And he played knight takes d5, so he's up a pawn. Took a pawn.
Same moves later, you said.
Right. Still up a pawn, I didn't do nothing, I'm just down a pawn. But my king is pretty safe. Okay, so, alright. And we got this position. Okay, and I checked. Well, again, when somebody's mating you, it would be nice not to get mated. And he was more concerned with material. He didn't want to lose his rook, didn't want to lose his knight, didn't want to lose his pawn. Question.
Would have rook takes knight, knight forks rook and king, would that
Oh,
be?
you wanna play this move?
Yeah. Would that
I
be
didn't
good?
look at that at all, but I like it.
Okay,
And when I say I like it, I'm gonna say plus 1.7 for white. Let's see. Oh, it's not as good as I thought it was. It's only 0.7, it's not 1.7.
huh,
Yeah. I mean, I'm down a pawn, and now it just says equal. I am down a pawn, so I don't want to trade pieces if I don't have to.
I see.
Yeah. So I like my knight better than his. Yeah. Okay, he played king c6, which is the only way to save his b5 pawn. If I take his b5 pawn, man, I got a lot going on over here. I mean, okay. All right. Okay, now I took the directing bit a bit too far. I'm something like +9 here. Okay, and I saw the winning move, and in fact, a lot of moves are +6 and +7, and I moved in like 30 seconds, and I totally miscalculated. And I realized after I moved that I miscalculated. Okay, I didn't throw the win away, but I made it like +1. I got to win again. So the move I wanted to play was knight takes b5. I figured if he doesn't take my knight, knight takes b5 is good. So he takes my knight. And I can win my knight back by either checking and taking my knight, or I could just take the knight right away, and if he takes, I check and win. And I figured it's equal material, and his king is running around the board, so I'm going to win. And his rook's over here. Okay, and the computer agrees with all that. But then I thought I saw something better. And in fact, there are things that are almost as good, but not what I did. I miscalculated in my head. So here's what I calculated in my head. Rook a6 check, knight b6, then knight takes b5, and if king takes b5, queen a4 check, and queen a4 check is bad because he takes my queen, and for some reason I thought his knight was still pinned, because it was pinned the previous move, but it's not pinned anymore. And if his knight is pinned, then I'm like mating him. King c5, queen a5 mate.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, let's do that. Mate's better than knight takes b5. Knight takes b5 is incredibly winning. So I played this, and now like I'm better. Actually, I'm still winning, but I blundered next move. Okay, so this is my analysis when I played rook a6 check. Mate. Actually, that's not mate because you can go king c6. So I guess rook a5 is mate. That's my analysis. That's mate, right?
yeah.
Okay. So I saw that, and I said, well, if he doesn't take my knight, I'm threatening here, and here, and here, and I've won my pawn back, so I'm obviously going to win. Then I realized, before he played knight b6, that, oh, I can't play knight b5 and queen a4, my queen's hanging. Okay, so here, if his king was on c6, but now it's not, so he can take my queen. Then I would have probably drawn, because I'm not a queen for nothing. Okay. Anyway, so he played knight b6, and I was flustered because I can't play knight b5 now. However, the computer says queen c3 is really good, because I got some queen a5 going on. And there's a lot going on there. That's a lot of something. Yeah. And after queen c3, I have a really, 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 really big advantage. You see those numbers? Okay, so I'm winning. Okay. But I was flustered that I couldn't play my crazy move. So I played g3 because I like to play safe even when I'm attacking. Because in a lot of variations, you get checkmated on the back rank. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They all nodded and cried at the same time. Okay, now I don't get mated anymore. Unfortunately, I forced his queen where it stops queen c3. So he played queen e5.
No.
And now, I won't get mated, but I can't do my attacking thing. I probably could go here and then here. Yeah, I think I'm still like pretty winning. My next move actually was good and takes advantage of queen e5. Okay? And it's a move that's very hard to play because I'm doing all this, right? I'm pinning his knight. And I actually thought a long time here. So previously I was moving like in 1 second. Slightly slower than Archer plays, or close. Okay. But now I really started thinking, and I played rook a5. So I unpinned his knight, but I don't think his b pawn has a lot of defense, right? So if I play knight takes b5, I'm threatening his rook and all kinds of discoveries on his queen.
Discovery.
You know, like knight check here, knight check here. Okay, so he played rook d8, which is best. And now I should probably take with the rook, but I took with the knight. And I missed that the best move for black is probably rook d5. I just didn't see rook d5. And I think like I'm better here, but not winning. Although it seems with his king on c6, I should have something good, but not winning anymore. I didn't even look at rook d5. I was like, oh boy, I'm threatening this, I'm threatening this, I'm threatening check winning his queen, I'm threatening this check winning his queen. That's a lot of threats. And I won my pawn back. Okay. So he traded rooks, which I expected. And he played rook d7, which I expected. Okay, and now he made a bad move. Although, I expected the move he made. So let's vote. And it's funny, the last class, I showed the game I played Sandeep, and he had 2 ways to recapture on d4. And I was surprised by the one he played. And when I asked the class, they all played the one he played. Okay, and then the computer agreed with me and said, what's that? So, I'm going to let you either block with the knight or the rook. I'm going to let you do that. You could go here, but don't go there. And you could block with the queen, but don't do that. Because then when I check you, I'm going to take your queen. Okay. So, you can either play rook d5 or knight d5.
Which one's correct?
That's what I'm asking you.
Knight d5.
Yeah. Alright, who votes for knight d5? Raise your hand. Okay, who says rook d5? And one abstention. Yeah. Now let's see what the engine says.
95.
Queen
Yeah, the computer doesn't know, right?
Queen d5.
Yeah. So they're about the same.
Oh, king d5 is okay.
Yeah. Although this is, wait, now how many engines am I using here? Let's see, depth. So right now knight d5 is better. Now they're the same. So they're about the same. They're both terrible. Yeah.
They're both terrible.
Yeah. Okay, he played knight d5, which I expected. Rook d5 I think would have been tougher, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just winning on both. Okay, now I made 2 good moves in a row. It's never happened in this chess center or in the state of Georgia. Okay? Yeah, and nobody would find either of those moves, so I won. With 2 good moves in a row, that's not, yeah. And when you're playing other grandmasters, you have to play like 30 good moves in a row. So you guys don't beat grandmasters too often, right? Yeah. Okay. And sometimes when the best players in the world are playing, they play all good moves. That's not fair. Okay, they should blunder more. Okay. These moves are very hard to play, but not for me, because I say these moves a lot when I'm teaching chess. These are moves nobody finds. People like to move forward, they hate moving backward. See, I gave you a hint. So what did I do?
I like
Knight
knight to
c3.
c3.
There you go, knight c3. Okay, now, knight c3 is attacking and defending. Obviously, his knight on d5 is now attacked by all of my pieces. More importantly, I'm defending against queen check and queen takes rook. That would have been a bad way to lose the game. He has a threat, okay, but he can't jump over my knight, so I'm not worried about queen takes rook anymore. Question? Okay.
Yeah.
He played king b6, I played another good move. Then the game's over, because I played 2 good moves. That's never happened before. And again, if you guys were playing, it's 100% you would play what move? You can all say it at the same time.
Rook b5.
Rook b5 check, 100%, right? And that's the move I looked at, and I was like, well, rook b5 check, and then, this is actually funny in my analysis. I was thinking, king a7, I need to put my queen over here because it's mate, right? So I was looking at queen d1, because then I go queen a1 mate, and queen a4 mate. Makes sense, right?
No.
Hanging.
No, what do you mean no? What? Mate.
Oh, this way.
Yeah, what? Queen d1, that's the kind of move you guys play. Okay, but I wasn't sure what to do if he played like king c7. I was like, I don't know. Okay, then I realized my problem, if I have a problem, is he has counterplay with his check. It's a good thing I made Lufter earlier. I don't like getting made on the back rank. Okay, so I stopped all of his play by playing.
King g2.
Well, my rook's attacked by his king.
Queen d1.
Queen
Again, my rook is attacked by his king.
Rook a1.
Rook a1. Yeah, 2 good moves in a row, it's over. He should have resigned here. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's turn the engine on. Okay, what does it play with white?
Up a pawn.
Plays knight. What does it play? Read.
c3.
Knight c3. And what does it play here?
Rook a1.
Yeah. So you can't deal with that. Yeah.
King b7.
They're both retreating moves. I like retreating. So if you're watching my game, you're like, Finegold, he's no good. He has rook and knight there, they moved him back. And the computer says they're the best moves. So now, he didn't play good now. Okay, so he played the move that you would all play, but it's actually bad.
Oh.
So normally when your king is on b6 and I'm mating you, you trade all the pieces and draw. So that's what he did, but trading pieces hurt him. His knight on d5 is really good. And he took, and this actually opens up the b file to his king, and also opens up this diagonal. Okay, even that diagonal. Yeah. So knight takes c3 is not a good move. Yeah. Now he's losing technically, I'm up like 1.7, but he made it easy. Yeah. Okay. Now, ooh, his king's not good. That's not good. And now, I mean, you could resign here because your king is just, you can't have a king like that. But he didn't know if he was worse, so that's not going to resign. Okay. You can't resign if you think you're doing okay. Okay. That's just, ignorance is bliss, right? That's what Ocean said.
Yeah.
It's an ocean of knowledge. Okay, so he went on the attack. Who needs a king? Okay, here. Now, I didn't know which move to play, and the engine says that the other move I was going to play is better. Darn.
Queen takes.
Queen takes. What am I taking? Okay, so the most obvious moves are Rook B1 and Queen A8. Yeah, and I was like, man, I like them both. Yeah, so I played Rook B1, which is not as good according to the computer. However, after his move, it's better.
Huh.
Okay, so he's, I mean, when I say better, like this is +8 and I was +13, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
I played here, yeah. Okay, and now I played,
Drum roll.
well, what'd you play? Don't need a drum roll.
Queen F8.
I thought about Queen F8 check, but it's check, so I didn't like it.
Huh.
I thought about Queen F8 check. The problem is, you know, he plays Queen D6, and then he's threatening my queen, plus Rook D1 check, trading the rooks. I don't want to let him trade the rooks, that's for sure.
Couldn't you just take the pawn?
So you go Queen B7?
Yeah, Queen B7. Yeah, you can take pawns and I mate you. I could try to take his kingside pawns, but mating in 1 or 2 moves is better. Now here, it says like +19 for white. So, yeah. So after the game, he said, "Ah, that was my mistake, was in this position." And I said, "No." I said, "This position's lost." But earlier, I said Rook C8 wasn't good. That was like 20 moves ago.
Huh.
And he thought he made the losing move here, and I said, "No, you don't make the losing move here." So he hung his queen here, and that was the best. The computer recommends him hanging his queen. Well, the move that he wanted to play, that allows mate. And I made him, he was like, "Oh." So he suggested this move after the game. Okay, it's a suggestion. And then I play queen check. Is this the mate in 3 I did? Or did I do Rook B5? I know this is mate because I showed this mate. Like, I know that's mate. I know mate when I see it. But he could play King D4. Do I have like a really quick mate here, or I have nothing?
Nothing.
I mean, I have mate, but do I have a quick mate? So where's my like instant mate? Is it mate in 2?
Mate in 6.
Queen B6, only legal move. Rook B5, only legal move. Queen E6. Okay, this move's not good. So there. Rook F5, only legal move. And then everything's mate in 2. I can't find a move that's not mate in 2.
King.
Actually, it says Rook F4 mate, but this is a funnier mate. I like that mate better. Yeah. Okay, so in this position of Queen B7, you can see the computer evaluation. Not good for him.
What's his number here?
Yeah. So this has been lost for some time, and the reason obviously is that king's there and my king's on a normal square. Yeah. So he blundered his queen, but it was fine. And blundering his queen was good. So am I wrong about queen? What did I do? So it's King D4, he's okay? No, it can't be okay. Can't be.
That's nice.
Can't be. No, Queen C7 was my move, because I didn't see King D4. Okay, I can win when I'm +7, but yeah. Okay, so anyway, in this position, he thought he made the losing move. He's been losing for a long time, because his king isn't good. He played Rook takes C3. And I tried to find a mate here, and I couldn't. I tried, and so I played here, because I know that wins. And the idea is funny. If he plays king here, I don't take the queen, but I go here, so I get the queen for free. Probably I have mate, but a free queen is okay. So I thought he had to go here, and the idea is this. Okay, then I get a queen for free because I win his rook. However, he plays the Zwischenzug, rook c1 check, and then takes my rook. And then I have this check, winning his rook. Okay? However, if I don't want to let him take my rook, I have a funny move the computer found, which I would not have found, which is this. Check. I would not have found that. And the reason is, he doesn't have the Zwischenzug because I take with check. And then I play the queen g7 check, winning his rook. Yeah. So this, everything wins a whole queen. I don't want a queen for a rook, because he has a passed pawn. Come on. But if he has a passed pawn, I have a queen, he has nothing, that's okay. I'll have passed pawn. So after rook b5 check, I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, this wins a queen, but do I have mate? And I was like, I don't see it. So I played there, and he was like, oh, God, you know, if only I hadn't missed that. And I was like, well, rook c3 is a fine move, because you're getting mated here. Don't have your king here. Now, this is a common problem that I have. I'm playing Rufus and Doofus, sort of like the opera game. The Count and the Duke, Rufus and Doofus. They're related, distant relatives. And I'm up, the computer says I'm up plus 20, plus 30, and I'm like waiting for them to resign. And they make a move, and I like take a pawn, and they're like, ah, then they resign. I'm like, well, what? You hung a pawn and you were down a queen and a rook. What are you complaining about? Anyway, I get this a lot, and I talk to some other people about that. It happens to them too, some people I know. Where like, their opponent should resign every move, and they play on, which is fine. Then they make an inconsequential move and think they blundered and resign. And I'm like, I was like plus 20, now I'm plus 21. And now you resign because you're really upset. And that's sort of what happened here. After the game, he's like, I played rook c3, missing rook b5 check. I'm like, what? Your king's on c5. How can you survive more than 2 moves? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. So he didn't realize how bad his game was, and you know, see, that's one good thing about not being so high rated, is you don't realize how bad your position is. This happens to me a lot of tournaments. I'm playing somebody, and I'm like, they're not resigning because they don't know what's going on. If they knew, they'd be like, oh man, I gotta resign here. Then later they realize it and think that it just happened. And I'm like, no, for 20 moves I've been plus 10. Yeah. But they don't know that, so they think everything's fine. So that's good. Then when your opponent blunders, you think it was always great. Okay, so the puzzle's really hard, but let's sneak in a game. We'll sneak one in. Okay, has to be the easy, what's going on? Definitely this one. Okay. I actually won this game on time. I played Stadter and I played his brother in the last round, but no revenge. Okay, I was white. This is my round 1 game. And he played the King's Indian. Okay. And I really wasn't paying attention to this game. I was running around. It was round 1, so I had to make sure everybody showed up. Okay. I don't face c5 very often. Let's see how smart the class is. What's the most common move in this position for black? Can anybody get it? Anybody? There's 6 of you. What? It's black's turn.
Resign.
Okay, that's incorrect.
E6.
What is it?
E6.
C6 is never played ever.
E6.
E6 is much rarer. When I say C6 never played, E6 is never
Bishop
played.
G4. Bishop G4.
Bishop G4 has been played. That's like the 5th most common move. So you're getting better.
Knight d7.
You didn't say which one, so
Rook
never.
D8.
What?
Knight bd7.
Yeah, that's like 3rd, 4th most common. You're doing good. You're getting close. I could click reference to prove I'm right, but there's gonna be like 40,000 games. So
Knight D7.
you didn't say which one, like he didn't.
No, Knight B to D7.
It's still not Knight BD7. If anybody else says it, they'll claim a draw.
Knight
What?
C6.
Knight
Who?
d7.
No.
B5.
Who?
E5.
Yeah, E5. Yeah.
Oh.
E5 is by far the most common move. It's not even close. Yeah. Okay, and then castles is the most common, but bishop E3 is also played occasionally, and so is D5. Okay, my opponent played C5, which is also played occasionally, and I castled, and usually they play knight C6 against me. That's the usual. Okay, and takes is a close second. And my opponent played B6. I've never faced that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, I figured he's going to fianchetto his bishop, played B6, so I went here. Yeah, and already this is terrible for black, because he's playing a Benoni, where the pawn is here, and playing here, which, that's not a move. Okay. So now the computer's going to like white a lot, right? A lot. Yeah?
No, almost up a
Yeah, and it's even material. Wow. Okay. And then nothing happened, just boring. And here I made a sort of a crazy decision. Okay, here I made a crazy decision. I decided I wanted to play Queen C6.
Nice.
Okay? And so he can play like rook b8, then what do I do? So instead of playing a normal move and being better, I play bishop takes f6. Computer doesn't like that. And it doesn't like his next move either, but it says it's okay. Actually, all his moves are okay. And the point was, now I play queen c6, and I can get my pawn in here, and if you take with the bishop, I can still play queen c6, and now I can play knight b5. Yeah, so I'm getting in somehow. I don't know how. Okay, so he took with the queen. I went here, and now it doesn't like the move I played at all. I played d6, and I thought, oh boy, my knight's coming in. I can go direct the tournament. Okay, and he attacked my queen, which is correct, and he took, which is correct, and now he played the only good move. Shocking. This guy's 1200, so he's like for the last class.
Wow.
So what's the only good move for black? He played it. Shocking. I can't believe it. Not fair.
What?
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 What's the problem?
Nothing.
What should black do? Look how I infiltrate with my queen and rook. Yes, I must be better.
Resign.
Anybody? Rook f8, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I saw that, and I thought I was much better here because I have the d file, and I said that bishop's no good. Okay, and then I won very easily with my open file, the bishop being no good. So I was like, yeah, I was right. The computer's like, horrible, you're the worst, which I already knew. So the computer always plays
Bishop f8.
always plays bishop f8, kicking my rook out. I can't go anywhere in here, so I go back, I don't know. And then plays bishop c6, and then my rook can't get in there. And then it says equal, no advantage to white. Okay, although I'll take white all day, but it says it's equal. Okay, instead I did everything I wanted to do, because he had no time on his clock. Yeah, I had like 20 minutes, he had like a minute. So he lost the game on time. Yeah. Okay, so he played rook back to c8, probably wants to challenge the d file, but he's giving up the 7th rank. Okay, so I took the d file, and he played bishop f8, forcing me to go to the 7th rank. Oh boy. Then he played a6 because he wants to play bishop c6 and kick me out, but I take a pawn. Okay, and now this bishop's been terrible the whole game, so I played bishop g4. Now, if you were white and it was your turn, which it's not, what move should white play? What's the threat? You with the right answer.
Rook takes b7.
What?
Rook takes b7.
I can't hear because he's talking.
Rook
What?
takes b7.
What?
Rook takes b7.
What?
Rook takes b7 and bishop takes c8.
He's stuttering. He said rook takes b7, rook takes b7. Right. I'm threatening to win a piece. Okay, because I got some stuff going on here. Okay, he played bishop c6. I played rook a7, attacking his rook and his a pawn. Okay, and now he should play, I think, rook a8, but it already says I'm winning, because I got everything. Yay, I got the d file, the 7th rank, and got this going on. Okay, he played rook e8 because he was in time trouble, and I played yum 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 yum. And now, because he's in time trouble, he blundered again, here, just giving his pawn away. And then his time ran out. This is a good time to have your time run out.
Yes.
Because I don't know what you would do here if your time didn't run out.
Not much.
Resign.
Maybe, yeah. So that game I played as boring as I could. I played a little too boring. But I had 20 minutes and his flag fell. So that's,
20?
yeah.
I thought there was a delay.
I'm confused. There is a delay. What's your point?
You could have made a lot of moves in the...
Under 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right, he didn't.
Why not?
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
The guy who died in the car crash, I thought there were seatbelts. He did have a seatbelt. What are you going to do? Okay, so the true story, the truth hurts. Yeah, there's time delay, but he lost on time anyway. Sometimes there's increment they lose on time. What are you going to do? I can't stop them, right? Okay, so here I'm completely winning, of course, but that's what happens when you don't take your opponent seriously, you're directing, then the game's equal. Okay, and then his flag fell, so I won. Very suspicious. Okay, now, Ocean, and you. What's your name? Kasparov?
Sanjay?
It's not Kasparov?
Dang it.
Oh, your last name's Kasparov.
Yeah.
That's the same as Kumar, right?
Sanjay Kasparov.
Okay. So I showed this puzzle in the last class, and I said this was the easiest of the 3. And then I gave 700 hints, then they gave up. Okay. And the kid who solved it didn't understand why he solved it. You were there, right? You agreed. Yeah, you're like, why is that the right answer? I'm like, you told me that was the right answer. Okay, so now let's see. This one or this one?
Both.
We'll do this one.
Oh.
Okay, actually, I've seen this puzzle before.
This one.
Okay, so it says difficult. Is that what's tougher, difficult or tough?
Difficult.
So this is tougher. This is mate in 3. It's white to move. Now
Rookie.
you can't solve it unless I give you hundreds of hints. Then you still can't solve it. Luckily, we have 15 minutes, so that's good. Okay, so it's white's turn. Now the way to solve a puzzle is sort of like how you're playing in a tournament, because every position's a puzzle, except this one has an answer. Yours is to play golf, because I've seen you guys play chess. Exactly.
Wait, I think I see it.
No, it's too hard for the class. I have to give a lot of hints first.
I might see it. Might.
Hold on a second. Vegas, $100 against Ocean. I have to give 100 to 1 odds? Okay. All right, that's not good for me.
What?
What's the mate in 3?
Oh, it's me in 3?
Hold on. Yeah, mail me a check. Thank you.
It's made in 4.
Yeah, see how it says mate in 3?
Yeah, I
No,
think
it
it's,
says made in 4.
This is 3.
three.
If it says mate in 4, I still might bet against you, but I might not. Maybe mate in 4 is easy, I don't know. Like, I know the answer and it's hard. What, you know the answer?
I think.
You've seen it before?
Yeah.
Oh, then you don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer.
No. All right, what's your answer so we can refute it?
So I was gonna go queen e4 check.
Okay, so it's never check, it's a puzzle. So the answer is, it can't be check. Okay, so, I don't know, king c7, I don't know. I have 2 legal moves, I'll play one of them.
Sure, then queen c6.
Okay, I have 2 legal moves, I'll play the one that doesn't hang mate in 1, king d8. And now you have to mate me in 1, because it's mate in 3. And then you don't have mate.
Yeah.
If I play king b8, you could have mated me with queen c8.
No.
Also, if I play king b8 on move 1, you could have played the same mate. Yeah. Now, by the way, he has the right idea, he just did it wrong. The way he set his pieces up, that's correct. But you just didn't do it the right way. He did the easy way. You were like, "Rawr," and then I ran away with my king.
Something more subtle.
Yeah.
Queen
Looks to me like king d6 works.
King d6. What's the threat? That way I can stop it. I don't see a threat, but there might be one.
Whatever he does, you play.
Yeah.
You either play. You play queen b2.
Queen
check.
b2 is the threat, and then after king a8, you play bishop c6 mate.
Right.
Right. I agree with
There's
that.
3 moves.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So, I'm guessing after king d6, I have to play king b6. I gotta get out of there. You let me get out of there because you moved your king away. So king d6, I'll play king b6. Yay, I escaped.
No.
That's a safe square because you can't mate me here. Yes. The good player is always lucky. Now wait a minute, after this move,
This.
oh, then I go back. Okay, good. That was lucky.
What happens when you go back?
Well, you still just play
Yeah.
Yeah.
queen to c4.
Queen c4, I'm gonna go here because I said I was, and then mate.
Yeah.
Okay, so I better go back here. Man, I was so lucky. The good player is always lucky.
Wow.
He's got to defend all these squares. That's a lot of squares to defend.
And now we've played 2 moves.
Yeah, now the mate in 4 guy, I call Vegas back. Now he wants his mate in 4 back. Yeah. But at least your move was in check. That's good. Yeah.
Wait, what if you put queen b2 and then?
Queen b2 would just check, so obviously wrong. Obviously here because this is mate in 1. You didn't like that I made the only move. You were mad. So what you did, sir, was you played queen c8 mate in a lot of positions, your bishop on d7.
Right.
You lined your queen and bishop up, which is correct. But bishop on d7, no good.
Right.
Get that bishop out of there so you can line them up, and then it'll be good. Bishop on d7 is just blocking your queen.
Bishop h4?
Illegal, but still correct.
h3.
Bishop h3 is the only first move, that's right. And your idea is to do this.
Yeah.
And if the guy runs away to D8, then queen D7's mate, because the bishop's not on D7. Now, you brought your Kleenex. Did you bring it?
No.
Okay, because you're gonna cry now. After A5, with the idea of A6, so you can play king A7. Oh man, oh man.
Oh,
So
snap.
A5, and after A5, white has another mate. That's the Kleenex mate.
Oh, you got that's where you do the E4.
Queen E4, that don't work.
No, no, no.
Queen B5, B2, Queen B2,
You can sell the moves you want, but you gotta mate me.
Queen B5.
Queen B5, king C7. You got nothing. You're all talking to Badge. It's a mate in 3. We've already made one move.
Oh, Queen A6.
Queen A6, correct. Yeah. Yeah, then if king takes, you have mate, obviously. Yeah. And that only works after A5. If you take the pawn on A6, the king has A5. So A5, now this mate works, and we have queen C8 mate if he doesn't take it.
I think the last one was easier.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right.
This
So
one's easier.
bishop H3 is the only answer. This one's easier. Bishop H3, you wouldn't find bishop H3. I get 50 hands. You still don't understand the answer. Rawr.
Ew.
Yeah, bishop H3, that's a good move. And then after A5, queen A6 check. Yeah, the truth hurts. Chess is hard. Except for, unless you're the engine. If you're the engine, then you turn on the engine and it says bishop H3. It's like, whatever, what's the problem? There's like infinite mate in 4s. Doesn't care about that.
Infinite.
Infinite, yeah. Yeah, the computer mate is after here, you go here, and then you go there. Yay.
8 and 1.
Yeah.
Probably making.
Yeah, so bishop H3, and the idea is, you do want to line your queen and bishop up here, but you need queen D7 mate in case he runs away. And then you're very lucky to have queen A6 check. But see, A5 is an important move,
Chess players.
because if you play the same mate you were going to play all along, I play A6, and then I escape. And bishop H3 I like, because what kind of move is it?
Passive,
Not check.
retreating.
It's retreating, yeah, so people don't look at bishop H3 because it retreats. But the bishop's in the way.
It's the fine.
We want to play queen C8, but we need to play queen D7 also. That's why getting your queen up here doesn't work, because the king goes to E7. But yeah, queen on D7 is mate. So which was tougher, that or the last one?
Last one.
But if I give no hints, you just need to solve either one forever.
Exactly.
And you're like, wait, I'm going to guess every legal move. Then you'll solve it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can go home and play.
I like this one's harder, I think, because after bishop H3, A5, you have to find queen A6.
Oh, yeah.
You have to change your mind and not play queen G4, queen C8 anymore. Yeah. And you have to change your mind if he runs his king away. You have to play queen D7 maybe if he runs his king away. Yeah. Yeah, so, but you have the right idea of lining the queen and bishop up. Now, as I've been saying for years, to everyone's chagrin, everybody's mad at me, queen and bishop's better than queen and knight, and then the literature says the opposite. Today, there was a game, Varakobian white against Fabiano Caruana. It was the last round of Isle of Man. And the final position was queen and bishop against queen and knight, and the queen and bishop mated the king, and the queen and knight did nothing. Yeah, and then Var's like, wait, queen and knight, what happened? Fabiano, though, even though Wesley So, the best player in the country you ever heard of, Fabiano's better. And Fabiano is higher rated. If I said that like 5 months ago, I'd be wrong, but now I'm right.
Right.
Yeah, they sort of switch, you know, who's higher rated. You know who's not higher rated? Nakamura. He's always 3. And then So and Caruana switch. Nakamura had a good tournament. 5 wins and 4 draws. Anand, 5 wins and 4 draws. Unfortunately for them, Carlsen, 6 wins and 3 draws. Yeah, so that's, the truth hurts. Yeah, then they got paid their money and they didn't hurt anymore. Yeah. Yeah, they got paid a lot of money.
Well, how much a second?
They got plenty. They probably get appearance fees you don't know about.
Right.
Yeah. See, here's why you guys are kids. You go to the internet and you type in, how much does this guy make? Like LeBron James. You heard of him?
Yeah.
And it says he gets paid $25 million a year by the Cavaliers. You're like, oh, that's pretty good money. Okay, then when you're an adult, you realize that's nothing. Okay? That's not how he makes his money, not by his salary. You don't care about that. How does he make his money? Adults. Need an adult.
Advertising.
Yeah, so he wears shoes, and then the company that makes the shoes gives him more than that. You don't read about that on the internet. But sometimes you do.
He gets free shoes.
That's how he gets paid.
The kid said he gets free shoes. No, so let's say you like LeBron James, and you're like, oh, he scores a lot of points. Oh, those are the shoes he wears, I want to wear those shoes. So the shoe company makes you fall for that, then you buy those shoes. Then they give LeBron James money, more than the Cavaliers give him.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's getting like a $200 million shoe contract. He don't care about his salary, he wants the shoe money. Then you turn the TV on, turn the TV on, and there's some sports guy saying, buy this nonsense, right? They're paying him for that. Yeah, he even says nonsense. And they're like, all right, he's a celebrity, we don't care, right? They get paid more for that than they get paid for playing the sport.
And then he has endorses cars, and then he has.
They do whatever whatever they do, yeah. So you see Shaq making a lot of commercials.
Oh, yeah.
The guy's really tall. Then, I'll tell you a secret, whenever they show the body of Shaq, they don't show his face, that ain't him. Yeah, it really ain't him. Yeah, like look, I'm strong now because of this thing, and then they show some other guy's arm. Yeah, that's not Shaq. Yeah. If it was like all fat, then it would be Shaq. They're not showing you that. Yeah. Yeah, you want to do something on Shaq? Let's go. Oh wait, he lives in Atlanta. Uh-oh.
He lives in Atlanta, works out at my gym.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
I've seen him.
Yeah, and is he small or he's big?
He's big, but he's
Yeah.
also strong.
Yeah, well I know. Yeah, he's. But I challenge Shaq to a game of chess. All right, see you guys in half an hour.